He walked into a small bakery and saw his own eyes staring back at him. Twice. In two little girls he'd never met. The woman holding them froze. His ex-wife, the one who vanished 3 years ago without a trace. She was supposed to be gone. Safe. Forgotten. But now she stood here with children who looked exactly like him. And a secret so devastating she'd rather die than reveal it. He built an empire on fear. She built a life on silence. In the next 60 seconds, both worlds were about to shatter. What if she didn't leave because she stopped loving him, but because she loved him too much to let him watch her die? Everything he believed was a lie, and the truth was standing right in front of him, dusted in flour, holding the only things that ever truly mattered. Like what you're reading so far? Hit that subscribe button. The real heartbreak is just beginning. The bell above the bakery door chimed softly, a sound too gentle for Cho Yang-eun's world. He paused in the doorway, black coat catching the late afternoon Philadelphia light. The scent of warm bread and cinnamon wrapped around him, clean and foreign after years of smoke, steel, and blood. He hadn't planned to stop here. He was in the city for business, the kind handled in shadows with cash and men who never asked questions. But his driver pulled over for coffee, and Cho Yang-eun, restless, stepped inside to breathe. The bakery was small, charming, a place that sold dreams wrapped in pastry. He almost turned around. Then he saw her. She stood behind the counter, back to him, tying a white apron. Dark curls in a loose bun, flour dusting her forearms. She moved with the same quiet grace he remembered, efficient, focused, lost in rhythm. His chest seized. No, impossible. Mama, can we have cookies? A small, sweet voice. Cho Yang-eun's gaze dropped. Two little girls sat at a corner table, legs swinging, coloring books open. Identical faces, round cheeks, dark polished stone eyes. His eyes. The floor tilted. One girl looked up. For one breathless second, Cho Yang-eun forgot how to breathe. She smiled, shy, open, and his heart stopped. Mama, there's a man. The woman froze. Shoulders stiffened. The cloth in her hand fell with a soft thud. She didn't turn, didn't breathe. Cho Yang-eun stepped forward. Liora. Her name left his lips like prayer and curse combined. She turned slowly. There she was, Liora Hale. The woman who disappeared 3 years ago without explanation, without mercy. The woman he hunted until his men returned empty-handed and his rage turned to ice. She looked softer now, tired, shadows under her eyes, a fragile thinness to her face. But her gaze, God, her gaze, remained steady, defiant. The only thing that ever made him feel small. Cho Yang-eun. His name on her tongue reopened every wound. What are you doing here? Her voice stayed low, controlled, but he heard the tremor. I could ask you the same. His eyes shifted to the girls. Who are they? Leora's jaw tightened. Customers are waiting. Don't. His voice sliced through the warmth like winter. Don't pretend I'm a stranger. One girl slid off her chair and approached, holding up a crayon drawing. A house, a tree, two stick figures holding hands. Pure innocence. Do you like it? Cho Yang-eun looked down. It's beautiful, he said quietly. The girl beamed. I'm Mira. That's Ren. She pointed to her sister watching with cautious wide eyes. We're three. Three. The number struck like a blade. 3 years. He looked at Liora. Go color, sweethearts, she said gently, kneeling to brush Myra's curls. Mama needs to talk to the nice man. Mira nodded and skipped back. Cho Yang-eun waited until they were out of earshot. They're mine. Not a question. Liora stood, wiping hands on her apron. You need to leave. Answer me, Liora. She met his gaze. For the first time, he saw fear, not of him, but of something deeper. Yes, she whispered. They're yours. The air left his lungs. You were pregnant when you left, and you didn't tell me. I had my reasons. Reasons? He stepped closer, voice dropping. I tore cities apart looking for you. I thought you were dead. Or taken. Or, I'm sorry. Sorry. A bitter laugh escaped him. You don't get to be sorry. You don't get to steal my daughters and call it protection. They're safe here. Happy. They don't know what you are, what I was. I'm their father. You're a king in a world that devours weakness. And children make kings weak. They already carry my blood. You can't outrun that. Leora's hands shook. She hid them. Please, go. I'm not leaving. I'll buy this building. This block. I'll sit here every day until you tell me the truth. He leaned close enough to see her pulse racing. Why did you leave? I can't tell you. Can't or won't. Both. His jaw clenched. I'm not the man you left. I'm worse now. And if you think I'll let you keep them from me, I know you better than anyone, she broke. That's exactly why I left. 3 days passed. Cho Yang-eun sat in the bakery's corner every morning, black coffee untouched, eyes tracking Leora's every move. She spoke only polite customer service words. She never touched the private number he left on the counter. But she also never asked him to leave again. On the 4th day, the bakery was dark. Sign read, Family Emergency. Closed today. His blood ran cold. He called her cell. No answer. Again. Nothing. The door cracked open. Leora stood there, pale, eyes red-rimmed. They're sick, she said before he could speak. Both of them. High fever. Doctor says virus, but I can't. Her voice cracked. Let me help. No. She started to shut the door. He caught it. Please. The word came out raw. Let me see them. She hesitated, then stepped aside. The apartment above was small, warm. Photos everywhere. Liora and the girls laughing in rain, at parks, beaches. A life without him. Mira and Ren lay on the couch under blankets, flushed and glassy-eyed. Ren clutched a stuffed fox. They looked impossibly small. Mama, who's that? Mira asked. A friend, Liora said softly. He came to check on you. Mira studied him. Same piercing stare he knew from mirrors. You came yesterday too. And the day before. I did. Do you like our mama? Cho Yang-eun glanced at Liora. Very much. Mira smiled. Me too. Ren coughed weakly. Cho Yang-eun knelt. Can I get you anything? Water? Juice? Ren's tired eyes met his. Will you stay? He looked at Liora. She didn't forbid it. I'll stay, he said quietly. He stayed all afternoon. Fever checks, medicine, soft stories. He stayed while Liora made soup, exhaustion dragging at her. For the first time in years, he wasn't a king. Just a man on the floor beside his daughters, smoothing hair, whispering promises. You're good at this, Liora said later in the kitchen. The girls slept soundly. At what? Being a father. I don't know how. Neither did I. Sad smile. But we figure it out. Because we have to. You shouldn't have done it alone. I wasn't alone. I had them. Silence stretched. Why won't you tell me the real reason you left? Liora met his eyes. Grief, pure and raw, filled hers. Because if I tell you, you'll never let me go. I won't anyway. You don't understand. He stepped closer. I spent 3 years convincing myself I could live without you. Build the empire. Forget your name. Then I walked in here, saw them, and everything I wanted vanished. Don't. I don't care about power anymore. I care about you. About them. About whatever is killing you inside. Tears fell. I'm dying, Cho Yang-eun. The world stopped. What? Congenital heart condition. Progressive. Incurable. Her voice steadied, resigned. When I learned I was pregnant with twins, doctors said carrying them would kill me. Said terminate or die. He couldn't breathe. I knew what you'd do. You'd make me choose them over me. I couldn't let you carry that guilt. So I left. Disappeared. Gave birth. Prayed I'd live long enough to see them grow. How long? Voice hoarse. Could be a year. Could be 10. No one knows. There has to be something. Surgery, trials. Nothing left. She touched his face. I made peace with it. I haven't. Cho Yang-eun. No. I didn't find you after 3 years just to lose you again. The danger isn't over yet. A shadow from his past is watching, and it's coming closer. Like, subscribe, and share. 2 weeks later, Liora collapsed in the bakery, mid-morning, pulling a tray of scones from the oven. One moment she was steady. The next her knees buckled, and she hit the floor hard. Cho Yang-eun was beside her in seconds, heart slamming against his ribs. He dropped to his knees, fingers pressing to her neck. Pulse weak, but there. Steady enough to keep hope alive. We're going to the hospital. Now. I can't leave them. Her voice was faint, eyes fluttering. I'll handle everything. He lifted her carefully, cradling her against his chest like she was made of glass. The scent of flour and cinnamon clung to her, mixing with the metallic tang of fear. Private hospital. Discreet. The kind money buys when discretion is non-negotiable. Cardiac team already waiting. Cho Yang-eun had called ahead the moment her body went limp. Mira and Ren stayed with Mrs. Whitaker, the bakery's kind co-owner who had become their unofficial grandmother. Cho Yang-eun never left Liora's side. Not during tests. Not during imaging. Not when nurses suggested he step out for visiting hours. He sat in the stiff chair beside her bed, watching every rise and fall of her chest. Doctors delivered the verdict without sugarcoating. Dr. Quinn, the lead cardiologist, mid-50s, kind eyes, steel spine, pulled up a chair. Miss Hale, your condition has advanced. The strain of carrying twins accelerated the damage. You're in stage 3 heart failure. Liora's hand tightened around Cho Yang-eun's. He felt the tremor in her fingers. How long? He asked, voice flat to hide the storm inside. Dr. Quinn hesitated only a second. Without intervention, 6 months. Maybe a year. And with intervention, there's an experimental procedure. Stem cells, bioengineered tissue to rebuild parts of the heart. Risky. Survival rate around 60%. Recovery would be long, painful, but it's the only shot. Do it, Cho Yang-eun said immediately. It's not your choice, Liora whispered. He turned to her, eyes burning. Then make the choice. If you don't try, you die anyway. At least this way we have a chance. She closed her eyes, tears slipping free. What if I'm not strong enough? You are. He cupped her face gently. You survived leaving me. You survived giving birth alone. You survived 3 years raising our daughters without help. You're the strongest person I've ever known. Liora looked at Dr. Quinn. We need to schedule within the next 2 weeks. Sooner the better. She took a shaky breath. Okay, let's do it. The night before surgery, Mira and Ren visited. They were too young to grasp the full weight, but they felt the shift, the way Liora held them tighter, the way Cho Yang-eun's usual calm had cracks. Mama, why are you in the hospital? Mira asked, climbing onto the bed carefully. I'm just a little sick, baby. The doctors are going to help me feel better. When can you come home? Ren's voice was small. Soon. Promise. Liora's eyes met Cho Yang-eun's. He gave a small nod. Ren crawled into his lap without hesitation. He froze for a heartbeat, then wrapped an arm around her gently. Are you our daddy? She asked suddenly. The room went still. Liora's breath caught. Because you look at Mama the way I look at my fox, like he makes you not scared. Yes, Liora said softly. He's your daddy. Mira gasped. Really? Where were you? We waited forever. Cho Yang-eun blinked back the sting in his eyes. I didn't know you were waiting. But I'm here now. Forever. Mira demanded, hands on hips. He nodded solemnly. Ren pressed her small hand over his heart. You'll take care of Mama? Always. Promise. Surgery lasted 11 hours. Cho Yang-eun paced the waiting room like a caged predator. His phone buzzed relentlessly, Sung-ho with urgent updates from Seoul, rivals sensing weakness and circling. He ignored it all. At hour 9, complications. Her heart stopped for 40 seconds. They brought her back. Cho Yang-eun nearly put his fist through the wall. At hour 11, Dr. Quinn emerged, exhausted but smiling. She made it. Procedure successful. She's alive. His knees almost buckled. Relief crashed over him like a wave. When they let him see her, Liora was pale, still, machines beeping softly. But her chest rose and fell, stronger now. Alive. He took her hand. You did it. You fought. You won. Her fingers twitched. Eyes fluttered open. Weak smile. Did I keep my promise? You did. He kissed her knuckles. Now I keep mine. Recovery was brutal. Liora woke in waves, body fighting pain and trauma. Cho Yang-eun never left. He learned her breathing rhythm, the exact moment pain crested before she winced. True patience, not the cold kind he'd used on enemies, but the desperate, endless kind born of love. His empire bled. Rivals moved in. Sung-ho begged him to return. They think you've gone soft, boss. Let them think what they want, he told Sung-ho. None of it matters if she dies. 3 weeks later, Liora came home. The apartment above the bakery felt smaller, warmer. Cho Yang-eun had installed handrails, a supportive bed, a window chair for watching the street. Mira and Rin decorated everything. Ribbons, crayon drawings. Welcome home, Mama sprawled across the living room wall in bright colors. They carried her up the stairs. The girls waited at the door, bouncing, then froze, suddenly careful. Mama, they rushed forward. I'm perfect, Liora said, kneeling slowly to gather them in her arms. I missed you so much. We missed you too, Ren said. Daddy's breakfast isn't as good as yours. Cho Yang-eun raised a brow. You said it was delicious. We were being nice, Mira replied seriously. Liora laughed. Real, bright. The sound he'd ached to hear for years. Something inside him settled. This was home. Flour dust on counters, crayon on walls. Two little girls who looked at him like he'd hung the moon. Months later, an anonymous letter arrived. Inside, a single photo of Liora from 3 years ago, taken the week she disappeared. Someone had known. Watched. Waited. Cho Yang-eun burned the photo in the sink. Flames licked the edges until nothing remained. He'd left the shadows behind. But if they ever came for his family again, he would become the monster once more. Just long enough to keep them safe. Forever. The end. Loved the full journey? Drop a like. Follow for more heart-wrenching stories like this, and tell me in the comments, what twist hit you hardest? Help us share the story to help us grow. We are inspired by your actions,